What's up, fam bam? Well, we finally did it. We decided to not be so private and start our podcast. It's taken us quite a long time to make the decision to engage publicly about our lives. We're very private. We don't ever let anybody know what's going on as far as finances, plans, failures, achievements. It's been that way since I was a kid. I was raised to be very private and internal. So just for us doing this has been quite a hurdle to get over that ideology of everything needs to remain private for our lives. So here we are. How you doing, James?
Doing good, Pops. How you doing?
Doing good. So we're going to kick off basically from the beginning, before James was born, and how I became a single dad at a very young, unprepared age. So with that being said, what questions you got, bud?
Well, I'd say let's start off with your childhood before we go into my childhood.
My fucking childhood. Oh my God. Really?
Well, yeah. Well, you see how much you've changed throughout the years through all the bad examples that you've had.
Yeah.
And how you've chose to overcome those obstacles and put that into me and yours relationship. So that way I didn't have to deal with most of that bullshit.
Yeah, well, to say the least, I was born into turmoil. My first memory is basically me standing between my mom and dad fighting. And they got divorced when I was 3. So that should tell you how young I was. Wow. So my mom and dad got divorced. My mom left me and my sister with my dad. He was completely unprepared to be a single father. Had a drinking problem. Dealt with everything through anger. There was no reasoning with him. It was either his way or the highway, or everything got smashed.
Yeah, whether it was right or wrong.
Right or wrong, it didn't. And the more wrong he was, the more violent he got. So the only solstice I had was my grandfather. That was the only place I could go that was peaceful. And he's the one that taught me how to get over trauma and difficulties through love and understanding and balance. Balance was key. One of the things that he had told me when I was super, super young that always stuck with me through pre-parenthood and parenthood was never forget what it feels like to be a child. And I took that as not only the good times, but the bad times. There's a lot of times adults don't realize how alone a child can feel in their own house.
Yeah.
With the parents home. So that advice to me was the cornerstone of when it was time for me to become a parent. And I tried my best to include, engage, involve myself with every aspect of your growing. Even if we weren't rich.
Yeah.
We weren't stable. We weren't in the best environments. I still tried to keep that ideology at the forefront of my parenting.
Yeah, even through all of our difficult times, never really had a terrible childhood besides dealing with my mother, which is a whole nother thing in itself. But you always did a phenomenal job to make sure I was still happy, or doing your best to still make me happy through all of our crazy things.
Yeah. If I could keep you focused on positivity, learning, engaging, it would help you not concentrate on the things that were lacking in your life,
Right.
like a mother, you know. It's not always easy,
No, it's a lot to deal with.
especially when you're a young parent, you know. Being a young parent, you fight things like you want to go out, you want to go hang out. You don't want to work 2 jobs.
Right. You know?
But those are things you have to do. You have to put your social life, any kind of thing that has to do with you, on the shelf for the child. Otherwise, you're just repeating the same old traditions that you're born into.
Yeah.
Obligatory. Okay. Obligatory.
There's a word, I don't know, but it's
Obligatory.
Obligatory?
obligated parenting.
Obligated parenting. Obligated parenting, where you know, I'm just obligated to be your parent for 18 years.
Yeah, once
you
you're
have a
18.
roof, you have clothes, you have food. Shut up. It's good enough. You know.
And it's just not.
It's not. It's not. Emotional engagement, mental engagement, physical engagement, leadership matters.
It does. Well, I think a lot of grown-ups, when they have kids, tend to forget how fragile a young child's mind is with emotions. It's flurry. We're so new to everything around us that everything is very intimidating.
Well, yeah, and I've heard so many parents say, including my own, my mother's favorite go-to is, "You're tough. You're tough. My kids are tough. They'll get over it." It's the worst mindset you could have.
Yeah.
To me, it's like hitting a vase with a hammer. It'll work. It'll be fine. It won't break.
Yeah, well, then you've glued it back together too many times.
Glued it back together too many times, you know. And these shattered kids are growing up in environments to where they don't feel safe.
No.
They don't feel emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. They do not feel safe around their own parents. So that is one thing I always wanted to dispel. I wanted you to feel safe. As soon as you came home, no matter if it was out on the street or in the house, you knew you were safe.
Yeah. I always have felt that way. I don't do great with trusting other people, but when I'm in my own home with you, it's a whole nother story.
That's right.
To me, that's where it matters. You know?
It's the only place that
It's
matters.
the only place it matters.
The
is
world
with
don't
your
fucking
family.
matter. They're going to come and go, do as they fucking please.
Yeah, everybody's going to try and work you like a rib to get up on their own.
Well, and that was another cornerstone of my parenting. I had no fucking clue what to do when you were born. No clue. Like, I was 24, and I mean, I was a fucking maniac, and I had no idea. And the only thing I could come up with was, nobody's ever going to be able to bullshit this kid.
Yeah.
So that was another one of my cornerstones, that I was going to teach you how to be on the lookout for people's deceptive behavior, their bullshit, to trying to get you emotionally involved in something that had nothing to fucking do with you. So those were my 2 cornerstones. Never forget what it felt like to be a kid, and I was not going to let you get bullshitted by this world.
Which you've done a phenomenal job at.
Well, thanks, kid.
Even though I fly off the handle a couple times, but it stopped me from dealing with people's stupid shit.
Yeah, it took you a while to catch on.
Yeah.
It took you a while to catch on, but you caught on, and then you paid attention.
Yeah.
Which was a phenomenal gift, because there's a lot of kids that don't pay attention, but that's not the kid's fault. That's the parents' fault.
It is the parents' fault.
There's a lack of respect, lack of communication, lack of follow through, lack of leadership, lack of commitment. Mm-hmm. And whether or not the child knows what all that is, they pick up on it.
Yeah, they pick up on how it feels with their parents.
How it feels with their parents, and they don't trust them in some way.
Yeah.
Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, they don't trust their parent. And I think if more people would remember what it feels like as a child not to trust, they would parent different. Mm-hmm. They would parent different. They would parent more involved.
Well, I think people do know what it's like not to trust, but they don't want to touch on emotional aspects because it's too hard for them. I think a lot of people would rather live in the illusion, oh, everything's okay, everything's dandy, and then they try to push that onto their kids, without ever really getting down to the brass tacks on things, especially emotionally.
Well, yeah, because they may have to change.
Right, and it's too much for them.
It's too much for them. I mean, it's the same thing religiously.
Right.
You know, you put something to somebody that challenges their foundation. Mm-hmm. They don't want to fucking hear it.
No.
Whether it has to do with parenting, work, religion, ideologies, you may want to look at it from this angle. No, and they shut down.
Yeah.
Well, when you do that with your kids, you're done.
Yeah, the kid will never forgive you.
Well, they can't move past it. Mm-mm. They can't move past it
because they think it's a problem with them.
Right, the kid internalizes it.
Yeah.
The kid internalizes it and takes, because kids will take on everything.
Yeah,
everything. I remember a story. A friend of mine's mom told me one time that a female babysitter had been molesting her son. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, she was a gangster ass fucking woman, right?
Yeah.
Years later, when it comes out, she asked her son, "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you come to me and tell me this?" He says, "Because I knew, Mom, you would kill her, and then I wouldn't have my mom." So this kid at 7, 8 years old has the mental fortitude to realize the actions that his mom is going to go through for him. And he internalizes the pain of the sexual abuse to keep his mom safe. That's how much kids can be 10 steps ahead of their parents, and their parents not even have a clue.
Well, yeah, we look at you guys like gods. You know, like when we're kids, we're like, oh my God, you guys are everything to us.
Right.
I think a lot of people forget about what it's like being a kid looking at adults. The biggest thing when you're a kid is what? I can't wait to be a grown-up. I can't wait to do what they go and do,
Right. And that brings us to another topic. You guys are little sponges for everything we say and do.
Everything. Every little thing.
And it took me a good part of 10 years of your life to figure that out. Because I was still trying to be a fucking outlaw and be a dad.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You can't serve two masters. And man, what a dichotomy that was.
I will say that was a cool childhood.
It was Christmas every other weekend.
Oh yeah, it was entertaining for sure. I didn't mind.
Yeah,
except for when law got involved, and then.
Yeah, we'll get to all the prison stories and the arrests and the cussy battles and the next cussy battle and the next prison story. Oh God, yeah, it's a lot.
But, we'll get on me going on the run when you got busted.
Oh yeah, so in the nutshell, that was my childhood. Both my parents were in a fanatical religious organization that doesn't deserve to be mentioned. The only solstice I had was my grandfather, and it was simple things. He'd turn the garden hose on. He'd flood an area in the garden. He'd sit there, make me a paper boat, hand me a BB gun, and let me shoot the paper boat till it sank. Mm-hmm. Didn't cost a dime.
Nope.
Or we go in the garage and he'd whittle me a fucking boat. Or we go on a hike, take a couple hatchets, and go build a fort.
Not only was it fun, but it also taught you things throughout life.
Oh, absolutely. So those are the little gems of my childhood that I clung to keep me from being totally emotionally damaged. Because I didn't have those things when I would go to my parents' house.
Right.
My mom literally didn't engage. She was already remarried to a Muslim. Try that one on for size. And my dad was too busy either being married again or working. So there was no real engagement with my father either. I was either in trouble or I was going to be getting in trouble. So when I went to go to Pop's house, it was like heaven.
Yeah.
Heaven. Taught me how to cook, taught me how to clean, taught me how to work.
Be respectful.
Yeah, the man never misspoke.
No.
The man never misspoke. I mean, I don't know too many people that can say that about something that they had in their life. Like, I'd never seen him misstep in his life. Maybe his only downfall was being overly kind to people that didn't deserve it. But that was part of his philosophy. He was never going to be the source of somebody's pain.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't fault him for that.
No.
You fault the other people for taking advantage of someone's kindness like that.
He was a true gem.
A true gem. Yeah, perfect gentleman. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as far as my childhood, I mean, we could delve into it later on, you know what I mean? More details about certain parts of my life. But as for right now, we'll jump forward to how I met your mom.
Oh, that's a can of worms, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was young and dumb. Dumb when it came to women. I mean, dumb. For Christ's sake, I played Amazing Grace on my stepmom's douchebag. You know?
Yeah.
Let me play you a wee tune. That's how dumb I was when it came to women. You know what I mean?
God, that is terrible.
Terrible. So, I met your mom at this little place out in the woods where everybody would go for their pharmaceutical needs, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And your mom was 28. I was 17. And she was a smoke show, and I was way in over my fucking head. I mean, she ran game on me like Milton fucking Bradley. Fuck. But I was an idiot, and I just drank it all up. But that being said, I want to change a minute for anything else. All the hard times, the pain, the loss was worth every second to be your dad. So, but yeah, when I met her, 17, young and dumb, my grandpa just now passed away. My dad wanted absolutely nothing to do with me. Same with my mother. At that point, I hadn't talked to my mom in almost 15 years. So I was completely, there was no leadership in my life whatsoever until I went to work. And then I got to meet some men that were the salt of the earth.
Phenomenal, man.
Phenomenal men. And we'll do segments on each one of them because they deserve their stories to be told too.
Oh, absolutely.
But completely leaderless. So I had no idea I was being worked like a rib by your mother. I thought I was in love. You know?
Oh, yeah. And
So,
well, you had that example from your dad.
I had a terrible example from my dad with women. By the time I was 16, my mom, Carol, Diane, and Debbie. My dad had been married and divorced 4 times by the time I was 16.
Right, which is pretty confusing for a child.
Countless stepkids. Just straight chaos.
Yeah, there's no point where you can catch your mind.
There was no break in the action at all. At all. So, when it came time for me to navigate my life with women, I was like a balloon in a windstorm. I had no idea which side was up, down. All I knew is my balloon was full. So, I took it all on with your mom. You know, she had 3 kids already. She was married. Almost shot her husband on Halloween night because he came home.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He came home. I was in his house. I'm laying on his bed with his fucking socks on. He kicks open the front door of the house. He called her, told her he has a gun. So I jump up and I know where his other gun is because I just put his fucking socks on. So I go into the sock drawer and I grab his little 32. I put one in the chamber and I stand behind the fucking door of the bedroom. He kicks the bedroom door open and he's standing on the other side of the fucking door and I got the pistol to his fucking head like this. And she stopped him from coming in, begged him, finally got him pushed out of the bedroom, closed the door, and I just was like, what the fuck am I doing?
And now you're in too deep.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough for me to stop.
No, you should.
It wasn't enough for me to stop, you know. So I ended up going to jail a few months later. I don't even know what it was for. All that stolen furniture.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, all that stolen furniture. Technically, it wasn't stolen. They didn't speak English, and they delivered the furniture to the wrong fucking house. I mean, I don't know how I still got convicted on that. They didn't speak English. They just started unloading it. I'm like, fuck it, I'll take some new furniture. Bam, felony. Fuck. So anyways, when I'm in jail, I get this bright idea to tell your mom, hey, check it the fuck out. Either you leave him or you quit taking my jail phone calls. Either you pick me up at jail or you get the fuck on down the road. Well, I walk out of jail. There's your mom sitting in the fucking parking lot.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, fuck. Here we go. So I hop in the fucking Blazer with her and we take off for 4 or 5 days. He was going nuts. Dumbass shit. Dumbass shit. And then finally, after she gets moved out, I'm ready to leave. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna leave Portola. I'm gonna go. I didn't even give a shit. I was just gonna drive out my truck loaded. She moves out of his house and moves right across the street into her parents' old house. Okay, so literally, like, her front door faces his back door, and she begs me not to go, just to stay for a couple weeks and see how it goes. And my dumb ass did, and I stayed. And me and him were neighbors. I remember one time, actually, I'm walking across the street coming back from the store, and he's driving up the road, and I'm right in front of his car, right? And he has to stop. This is our first meeting since it's all blown up, right? So I go, all right, check it out, J-Dub. I go, I'll give you the first punch. I got that coming. You go ahead and sock me first. But after that, the fight is on. He goes, fight? I owe you a case of beer, motherfucker. And he hit the gas and sped off.
Yeah, that's what I've always liked about J-Dub. He's always been a really chill dude.
Chill dude. I felt this fucking big walking home. Like, oh, fuck. I really took his headache off his fucking hands. God, one man's trash is another man's treasure. God damn it. So that was the beginning of it, you know. And then by the time you came along, I'd already left her.
Right.
Me and her had split up. I hadn't seen her in 3 or 4 months. She shows up at the house. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Mm-hmm. A couple days later, she tells me she's pregnant. I don't fucking believe her.
No, she's a snake.
She's a snake. So she keeps saying, I'm pregnant. Bullshit. I don't trust you. She'd bring me a pregnancy test. I'd throw it away, you know. So I finally made her pee on one in front of me. Fuck. She's pregnant. So I thought, okay, well, the man thing to do is hang out for 9 months. Mm-hmm. Get a DNA test. If he's not mine, then I'm out 9 months. Yeah. If he is mine, I did the right thing. So that's what I did. Moved back in with her. Complete chaos. Complete chaos. All we did was fight. It was...
Oh, she's great for a fight.
Oh, she loves a good fight.
Yeah.
She'll fight with herself in the mirror.
I think she does.
Wouldn't surprise me. So, long story short, here you come kicking and screaming. And I knew you remind me, you're this little bitty baby like this, and you had hands that were that big around and feet like that. I'm like, oh, fuck.
I know my sister Juliet just sent me a picture when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, the rest of my body, normal. And I got these fucking hands.
Neanderthal hands.
Yeah, I look like fucking Sasquatch, dude. Yeah. Like, so disproportionate to my body.
Yeah, seriously. In this little bitty body, these like those great big sticky hands.
Yeah.
Big old feet. I'm like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, I know. I look like Bozo the Clown walking around.
I mean, you still kind of do. So anyhow, you were born. I tried making it work for as long as I could. No matter what I did, it was pure chaos. Whether I worked, whether I didn't work, whether I was home, whether I wasn't home. And she started using again.
Right.
Okay. I started seeing signs around the house that she was using drugs again. So I think you were probably 4, maybe 6 months old, somewhere in there. It was on a Thursday. I walked in the bathroom to get ready to go to work, and I just had these bags under my eyes. And I mean, my hair's not brushed. I mean, I had never been so depressed in all my life.
Yeah, you're just complete disarray.
Disarray. The house was just chaotic. And I looked in the mirror and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to raise my son to think this is how a man lives. So I made my mind up that I was leaving. That Friday I went to work and I never went home. I went back to my house and I contacted her and told her, look, this is not working. It's not going to work. There's no need to go into the court system. I'll buy your groceries. I'll buy his clothes. I'll help pay rent. I'll get your firewood. Let's just keep this simple and civil. Well, that didn't work. It might have worked it was maybe a month and a half, 2 months, if that. And then she filed for custody. And boy, did that ensue a long, long custody battle.
Yeah, it was almost 10 years.
Well, yeah, I think our last hearing, you were 10.
That was like right around Montana time.
2013.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you were 10. Yeah. So that was our last hearing. Okay. But of course, I had custody of you. I got custody of you when you were 4.
Right.
Okay. And we'll backtrack and go through all that. But that, in a nutshell, is how your early childhood started. So, just like me, you were born into chaos.
Yeah. It's only really until these past 4 years it's really stopped.
Yeah, moving to Idaho, even though it hasn't been easy.
No.
Like, Idaho has been the hardest spot to get our feet.
Financially, yeah.
Financially. I mean, Montana, Hawaii, California, Nevada, like, we had it going on. Idaho has been tough. And there's many economic reasons for that. But anyhow, now that we've gotten stable and we're able to buy property and a house and whatnot, now it's our turn to implement our new family traditions in our life.
Right.
You know, we've broke the chains of that life.
Yeah. It's done with.
It's done with. It's done with. Now we can look back on it and use it as a point of learning. Mm-hmm. Not only for me and you, but for when you become a father.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of kids don't ever get this chance to sit and learn their roots from their parents.
No.
I think a lot of kids don't know what their parents' life was like
Before them. Which
Yeah.
I think is super important, especially for a child. Because, like, you look at your parents, you're like, how the fuck they figure this out, you know? Like, how are they doing good? And here I am, I'm like, you're all disheveled, you're trying to figure things out. I think it's really important for parents to sit down with their kids and have really deep conversations. They need it. They need it. Like I said before, we're still brand new. I mean, I'm going to be 21 next month. I'm still just a kid.
Still a kid.
Still a kid. I know ideas of things. I'm still working out the kinks.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you'll ever stop working out the kinks, but you got to have someone in your life that's going to explain it just a little bit better, give you a little bit better of an idea of where to go in direction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what's crucial about this point in time in your life. We've made a decision to rebuild our empire together. Mm-hmm. Okay. A lot of children and a lot of parents, especially young parents, when their kid turns 18, that kid's off and gone.
Right.
College, work, military, whatever, they're still a child.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Mentally and
Mentally.
emotionally and possibly spiritually. They're still young. They don't have the leadership.
Yeah,
So if you look at a young man's life, and women too, but from the ages of 17 to fucking 32, men don't figure shit out.
no,
Drinking, college, parties, jail, prison, whatever the fuck. They're like a fucking ping pong
Yeah, I
ball.
was gonna say you're in the bounce around stage.
Bounce around stage, right. So we decided, like, instead of you moving out and going and doing your own thing, that, hey, look, let's get you a trade.
Yeah,
Let's get you some property. Let's get you some direction. Take these years with my leadership and apply it to your life. Don't just feel like you have to run from me or you have to go figure out your own shit. Figure out your shit here where you have the safety net of me.
right.
You know, and trust me, I catch a lot of flack from, I'll meet some, well, don't you think he needs to learn how to do this and fall on his own? And no, he don't.
Well, no, I've had a lot of people try to talk to me about that, and I tell them all the same thing. Just because you're 18 and legally you're an adult does not mean you're ready for the real world. The way I like to look at this is my dad has done so much for me throughout my entire life. Now, I guess other people disagree with this. Oh, you should go out and experience your own life. I don't agree with that. My dad's my world. I'll do anything for him till the day he dies, just like he's been with me since the day I was born. That is your honor for me as a son. It's your honor to take care of your parents. It's not, oh, I'm just gonna go. See you later, Dad. Now you're on your own. Our parents get old, dude. You gotta be there with them too. Your parents struggled. They're not these gods that just fucking, their lives are perfect or good as soon as I leave. I know my the income that I make affects you. Without my income, it's gonna be a little bit harder on you. So what I like to do is, at least we're sharing everything as a team. And I know when you get older, I'll pick up the slack where you're dropping, because that's what we've always done. When you're old and in a fucking wheelchair, shit in your diaper, I'll be taking care of you.
Fuck you.
No, I don't agree with just dipping out on your parents unless it's to better your family. If you need to go out like how I went to Alaska to try and go fishing and make us money to better us, that's completely different. But to just go out on your own and I'm done with this.
Well, it's to me, it's a systematic programming of the American family.
Right.
I really do believe that it's a tear down effect.
It absolutely is.
Now all of a sudden there's 2 mortgages, 2 sets of taxes, 2 sets of incomes that are not working together.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in debt and they can't work together to get themselves out of debt. I mean, you look at people that move here from other countries, right?
Yeah.
How come this group of people is doing so well? Well, they all work at the same store.
Yep.
They all live together or close in together. They share the mortgages. They share the car payments. The next thing you know, they have built themselves wealth as a family.
Yeah.
Now they have stability. Now they can reinvest. Well, that's what we're doing. My grandfather and his parents did the same thing. They came from the Depression. They had nothing. Nothing. I mean, my great-grandmother used to cook on an iron, clean it off, and then iron my grandfather's one suit so he'd go to work.
Right.
Okay? Their generational wealth went to my grandfather. Well, he took care of both of his parents up until they both died. Okay?
Right.
It takes one generation to tear it down.
Yeah, that's what your dad did.
My dad tore down my grandfather's empire to ashes.
Yeah.
So this is our rebuild period. This is us getting back to where my grandfather had us. Land, assets, liquid assets, investments.
Right.
So you can have a stable family when it's your turn. It wasn't stable for me at your age.
No, it wasn't.
I had no stability underneath me. I had no leadership in front of me. I had nothing to fall back on. It was all on my shoulders. And while trying to take care of a woman and her other 3 kids at the same time.
Right, which is terrifying.
It was a lot.
That's what most kids are not prepared for.
Had I had leadership in my life, I may have not made some of those choices.
Right, you would have had somebody jerk a knot.
Yeah, jerking
knock it
on my
off.
ass. Hey, check it out, dum dum.
Yeah,
Okay, you really want to do this? You want to play stepdaddy over here?
yeah. Why don't you think about your actions before you do something?
Right.
Which, another thing, parents don't teach their kids. How many times are you in public and somebody's interruptive, rude, inconsiderate,
Oh, that comes from the parent.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't teach them life skills at all, how to be a decent human being.
No, the kids run the household.
And it's just not how that works.
No. And you can see it in all aspects of their lives. The way they communicate with each other, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they walk, everything.
Yeah, well, and then when it comes to going to work with these people, it's terrible.
Oh.
A simple explanation to somebody, they take it as you're insulting them.
Oh, I know.
Because their parents
Or a question.
Yeah, or a question, and because their parents never told them to knock it off, shut the fuck up, and listen. You don't know everything.
Boy, you heard that, huh?
Oh God, many times. But that's what a kid does. A kid wants to be in charge.
Well, sure, they want to feel independent, and they want to feel intelligent, heard, appreciated. You don't get those things until you learn something.
No, it's earned.
It's earned.
You don't walk on the job site and say, "Hey, I'm a fucking journeyman."
Some people do.
Some people do, but they don't last very long. No, it's really sad to see that how everybody's really torn down their own families and they don't realize it.
You said it.
All right, well, we're coming back after a little break. Pop's had some bubble guts going on. Fucking stank ass, dude.
You have no class whatsoever, bro. Anyhow.
Fuck off, dude. I believe we were talking about how people, how their parents have let them get embarrassed going out into society by lack of leadership. I'm kind of forgetting where we're going.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because they don't take the bull by the horns at home.
Right.
They go out into society and they're fucking embarrassment.
Well, yeah, the biggest thing you've told me growing up, it's better to be embarrassed at home than embarrassed in front of people you don't know.
Absolutely, you're safe here.
Yeah.
You could be ignorant, you could be dumb, you could be a pain in the fucking ass here. We'll fix that.
Yeah.
Before the fuck we go outside and you get swatted in the goddamn store for being a jackass. Okay?
Right. Like those people that go up in Home Depots or whatever and moan in some guy's ear as he's trying to buy some fucking lumber.
I do not get that craze. Fucking with strangers. I don't get it.
It's
because there's no discipline at home.
There's no discipline at home.
Mind your own fucking business. Like, how hard is it to go out in public and mind your own fucking business? You can go fucking moan in some grown man's ear in Home Depot. I hate Home Depot as it is. I don't even know how, I would navigate that situation. But anyhow, you're absolutely right. The lack of leadership at home bleeds into society, and then we're stuck with these fucking assholes of children that grow up to be adolescent adults, basically.
Yeah, just because they're older doesn't make them an adult.
Fuck no.
No, they're so blind to their own actions. And then the thing is that gets me too. Okay, yes, it's definitely a parent's fault, but at a certain point, it becomes your fault as a person to not grow.
Oh, absolutely.
It is your own conscious decision to sit back and be a piece of shit the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, not push yourself to grow. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but it starts at home. If somebody's not pushing you to grow, why would you grow?
Yeah, why would you?
That's the problem with the human psyche. For some reason, we think we're going to take the easy way out. In actuality, it's harder.
It's so much harder. Like, look at somebody that's homeless. It's harder to be homeless than it is to show up to work and pay your bills.
Boy, ain't that the truth. But anyways, that's a whole nother story about broken children.
Yeah.
Homelessness in this country is a direct result of the broken household in America.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to wrap this up today. This was just kind of like a shotgun introduction to what we're going to be touching on. It's going to range from the beginning of our story all the way to the present day. We also want to involve other parents, both single and in relationships. We want to hear your stories, your struggles, your victories, your failures, your knockdowns, your get-ups. We want to know what it took for you to become a better parent and raised righteous, children to be upstanding adults. I have a few people in mind already that I'm going to invite on here and tell their amazing stories. This podcast is definitely not a one-trick pony. I've never been a one-trick pony my whole life. So it's going to range from us doing sit-down talks like this, to our welding projects, James's music. We'll be doing segments on our homesteading and how that's all going. Our dogs, what we're going to do with them, whether if I'm going to start breeding Caucasian Shepherds or not, I don't know. People want me to, but good God, I don't know if I want that many dogs. But anyhow, please feel free to reach out, DM, any questions you have. We're willing to answer and talk to you. If you have questions about child custody battles, incarceration, legal advice. I'm not an attorney, but I've been through the ringer enough to where I can guide you through some things. So we really appreciate you guys spending time and catching up with us today. I really hope this video finds you guys happy and healthy and doing the best you can by your family. And remember, leadership matters. These kids are sponges. They watch everything we say and do and take on more than their own fair share of load. So please be mindful of that as you're raising your kids, and set them on a course to where not only they'll be proud of themselves, but you'll be proud to watch them grow. Hope everybody's doing good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay.